What is up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. And today, normally I would do like a tech talk video, or at least I would try to do a tech talk video at least once a week. But I don't really have many tech cards to talk about. I've just kind of been focusing on Future Gohan and trying to make that deck as good as possible. With the new expansions coming out this month, I definitely feel like that deck is going to get a little bit of a boost. But what I wanted to talk about today is something I've never done on this channel. In regards to Power of a Super Saiyan. It's an extra card, a 1-drop yellow extra card that we got in set 13. It says SR and an SPR printing. I owe Power of the Super Saiyan an apology. When the set first got revealed and all of the cards were kind of talked about, a lot of people were leaning towards Power of the Super Saiyan being one of the best cards, if not the best card coming out from this set. It's a very versatile card. It gives yellow a boost, and obviously any extra card that gives yellow a boost is always going to be good for Mecha Frieza. At first, I didn't want to buy into the hype. I didn't really feel like Power of the Super Saiyan was doing anything that didn't already exist in the Dragon Ball Super card game. Yes, it's a free activate battle that allows you to rest a battle card and draw a card. It also has interaction with the Unison, which I think makes the card really good. But these are strategies that have already been happening in yellow. Samasu, Sacred Disbelief, in combination with Poutine, in combination with Bergamo, Ferocious Roar, in combination with Chapil, Bardock the Father. Like, there's so many cards in yellow that just tap cards. You know, Bardock Raider's Warcry, so on and so forth. So I didn't feel like the hype at the time was warranted. And I'm here to tell you today that I was completely wrong. Power of the Super Saiyan is an incredible card. It's worth every penny that it's valued at right now. I think the SR is actually sitting under $20. So if you can pick up a playset, you know, for anywhere from like $60 to $80, I would definitely pick it up now while you can. If you want to shell out a couple extra shekels for the SPR, feel free to do so. But I definitely feel like this is one of the best yellow cards that the game has ever seen. And, you know, even though the card game bubble is kind of popping a little bit right now, I still think this card is going to be worth getting your hands on, especially for those of you who want to play yellow strategies. In my first initial builds of Future Gohan, I didn't include Power of the Super Saiyan because I wasn't anticipating getting the card. Luckily, I was able to pull a couple of them and then pick up one here and there. And I've been using it in all of my yellow decks that I've been building lately. Obviously, not Future Gohan, including Future Gohan, but as well as a couple others that I've been kind of experimenting with. And Power of the Super Saiyan is the first 3 cards I put in all of these yellow decks. It's just that good. It's very versatile. It allows you to kind of play, I don't want to say better cards in yellow, because there's a lot of good yellow cards that are just good, like yellow good stuff cards. But it allows you to trim some of the fat. And this is what I mean. Power of the Super Saiyan by itself allows you to draw, which yellow is lacking, you know, tenfold. Draw power in yellow is so hard to come by nowadays. But it also allows you to tap rest one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons during activate battle on offense or defense once per turn for free if you have a yellow energy open. So just think about what that does, okay? If you're being offensive and you attack and your opponent has a blocker or something that you need to get in rest mode so you can run over it, you can go ahead and activate Power of the Super Saiyan. It's going to draw you a card, so immediately is going to replace itself, and then it's going to give you an out to that threat that you're trying to deal with offensively. Defensively, if your opponent goes wide, you can go ahead and rest either their battle card or their unison to prevent them from attacking, also drawing you a card, also playing itself for free. On top of that, it's also a 1-drop counterattack. Like, it's just a basic pay a yellow, negate the attack, and that's really good. Like, having versatility like that, in my opinion, is very, very strong, because it now puts you on par with other strategies that have power cards that can be activated for free. So if you're looking at, you know, obviously the counterplays essentially wipe themselves out. They're kind of a wash. You know, God Sealing Technique, Yamcha, Charismatic Villain, and Prideful Transformation, they kind of cancel each other out. Obviously, the best one being God Sealing Technique, and then the second best one being, Frieza Charismatic Villain, because they're canceled each other out, being played for free off of a unison with 2 markers. But there's a lot of other cards that can be played for free, or for energy that can be recycled. So the comparison I want to make, and I might get a lot of hate for this in the comment section below, is Senzu Bean. Senzu Bean is a very powerful blue card. Essentially, it allows you to pay 1 blue to activate it, and then you get to untap, your blue energy. So it's essentially, you get to untap 2 of your blue energy. So it essentially gets you +1 energy back. Theoretically, you play it and you untap an energy or whatnot. You untap 2 energy, whatever the case may be. So it allows for that recyclability. Now, Power of the Super Saiyan is a lot different from Senzu Bean, because it doesn't recycle energy, but it allows you to activate it without having to pay an energy, which in the grand scheme of things, when you look at Senzu Bean, it's a go even card, and when you look at Power of the Super Saiyan, it's a +1. And what I mean by that is, yes, Senzu Bean activates, giving you +5k for the turn, and it basically restands the energy that you used for it. But Power of the Super Saiyan, being activated for no energy, also draws you a card. So theoretically, you're going even because you're using Power of the Super Saiyan to draw you a card, but ultimately you're going +1 because you're activating a card without having to pay an energy, and then you're drawing a card. So you're saving 2 of your resources to activate this 1 card. Now, Dragon Ball's always been a very healthy game when it comes to draw power. There's a lot of different strategies in the game that draw a ton of cards. Not having a hand size limit really does help with this also. But yellow has always been like the last pony to the gate, so to speak, when it comes to draw power. I've been looking at a lot of yellow cards lately, just trying to find the right combination of tech cards as well as archetype specific cards to make future Gohan as potent as possible. And, lo and behold, I've come across very few cards that are just strict pluses in yellow. And Power of the Super Saiyan checks off so many boxes. It's great defensively, as an activate battle to rest a card or a unison, as a counter attack. It's great offensively for the same reasons of allowing you to rest problem cards and draw cards. It just does a lot of things, and it helps you to make replacements or changes in your main deck that, if you didn't have access to Power of a Super Saiyan, would force you to play a certain way. If you're playing like the tapping game, right? So the most common combination I can think of is Zamasu, Sacred Disbelief, Poutine, and Raiders Warcry. Not a long time ago, but back when yellow was predominantly played as I'm just gonna tap down all your stuff, and you could throw Bergamo, Ferocious Roar in there as well. Those cards were staples. Those cards were seen in every single deck. Your super combo of choice was Zamasu. You had to play Poutine. You had to play Raiders. You had to play Bergamo, just because you were going to have that synergy of tapping everything down and just playing these cards. Now, the ability of having Power of the Super Saiyan in your deck allows you to have an access to a card that taps something that's going to trigger A, B, and C. So, resolving a Power of the Super Saiyan is going to trigger Poutine, is going to trigger Bergamo, so you can go ahead and use those strategies as well. but it's going to trigger those without having to burn a super combo. So a lot of the times when you're playing these rest strategies, you would have to go ahead and burn a Zamasu just so you can have something switch to rest mode and then go ahead and do something else with it. So Power of the Super Saiyan gives you that activation skill of resting something to play something off of it, but it also replaces itself, so you're not wasting your super combos in a situation you might not need to use it. With that also being said, now that you have the ability of activating Power of a Super Saiyan, you can use Zamasu for an actual super combo defensively, or you can go ahead and play a completely different super combo because you don't need to have that ability of resting so many cards because Power of the Super Saiyan does it for you. In my future Gohan builds, I've completely gone away from playing Zamasu. I'm still experimenting with Krillin, but I'm leaning more towards Counterblast Sun Gohan, which is a set 10 super combo. It's a 1-drop. I believe it's a 1-drop 10k battle card. It's a super combo. When your life is at 4 or less, you combo with it to draw a card, or if it's your turn, your life is at 4 or less, you can combo with it, and you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards that's 5 or less in rest mode and KO it. That to me is huge. That utility of having, options on what you want to do is what I think makes those super combos really strong. You have the Counterblast on Gohan, you have Vegeta, the Prideful Prince Vegeta, I think. Is the name of it. It's the green counterpart. Basically, you combo, you draw a card when you're at 4 or less. But you can play it for 1 and have your opponent discard a card. You have the Bulma, that when she's comboed, she draws you a card and plays an Earthling from your hand. And you have the Zeno, which doesn't really draw you anything, but it allows you to combo at 5 life and manipulate your energy. So those super combos, they have a lot of pros and cons, but the yellow one, in my opinion, has just a whole bunch of pros. You're going to be at 4 or less life at some point. You just want to hoard your super combos in your hand until you're ready to go off. And at worst, it's a 10k draw. But if you use it as a utility card, you can not only draw, to dig into your deck, but you can get rid of your opponent's board as long as it's 5 or less, just by popping cards here and there. Not to mention, it's a 1-drop yellow battle card that if you play it, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode, which is again going to help trigger Poutine and help trigger Bergamo and so on and so forth. So you can kind of see where we're getting here. Power of the Super Saiyan for yellow specifically allows you to open up different paths, different ways of exploration with your strategies, and hopefully get you to that forefront so yellow can sneak its way back in to a top contender. Any yellow that's not Mecha Frieza, so to speak. But I do owe Power of a Super Saiyan a very sincere apology. I wasn't believing the hype at first, but now I definitely understand it. And like I said, if you can go grab your copies now, I would do so. If you're going to go on TCG Player, feel free to use our affiliate link in the description box down below. It really helps us out, here and there. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely a highlight from set 13. And if you guys are playing yellow, I would definitely go pick it up. If you're not playing yellow, but you plan on playing yellow in the future, it's just a really good card to have. So with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And please hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything no counters, no combos. We really do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Be there or be squared.